Hello and welcome to Level Up and Launch, a masterclass series for health coaches and nutrition professionals on scaling your online business, creating a digital offer, and launching it to the world. I'm your host, Elise Lefranc, a launch strategist for health professionals and nutrition professionals. And it is my pleasure today to welcome Robin Beier. Welcome, Robin. I'm so glad you're here and thank you for doing this interview. Robin helps nutrition coaches feel prepared and confident when working with their clients. He shares tips not only on how to optimize your mindset, but also on motivational interviewing and habit-based coaching. So first, I would like you to share a little bit about your story, Robin.
Sure. So I've started very much where my clients started. So I learned all the nutrition things and got all the books and got all the knowledge. And then I was sitting in front of my first client and felt like, what am I going to do with I have all this knowledge, but how do I get this client to actually work with me and do the things? And I felt like, oh, I'm missing so much. And what I learned over the last 10 years is that it's a combination of trusting myself that I can give advice, but also learning simple strategies like how do I organize a coaching session so it has a natural progression that makes sense for the client, or how do I keep track of client info so it's not just randomly somewhere. And what I've been doing now for 10 years and the last 5 years with Precision Nutrition, I just share what I've learned. So the mindset of what do I need to trust myself and how do I think successfully? Then strategies really like how do I go through an intake questionnaire and create an interesting and exciting nutrition program. And then what I've also seen are tools, simple templates like what's the message that I send when a client doesn't respond. So that's really what I'm doing. I share what I've learned in the last 10 years.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So today we are talking on how to get coaching clients specifically on Instagram. And usually it brings a lot of self-doubt and mindset is a huge part of it. So there is this easy step that you can take when you want to get coaching clients on Instagram, like updating your bio and like be really clear on who you serve and how you can help them, how you can help your clients. You can use hashtags, you can promote your results and testimonial, but the really important part is creating content that will help your clients to move forward and go through their roadblocks. And the most important step here is to have the right mindset and when you look for new coaching clients. So I would like you to tell us what is the right mindset to get coaching clients on Instagram.
Sure. So you've explained it beautifully. When coaches go onto Instagram, for example, they see all these hack the algorithm, use these hashtags, use this image for getting more attention, whatever. And suddenly coaches take their coaching hat off and try to get a marketing hat on. So they get in this mindset of how do I get clients instead of how do I attract clients. They feel paralyzed with what's the kind of content that I should post. They're trying to hack the algorithm. They get immediately frustrated because they feel unsure when they don't get a response. And they have this idea of, I need this huge following unless I'm not successful. And one final part that I often see is this, oh, I cannot give away too much because then my clients don't need me anymore. And what I think is a better mindset is to see marketing just like coaching. In coaching, we always ask ourselves, how can I be of service to my client? How can I help them better? How can I communicate better? How can I design my worksheets better? How can I listen better? How can I solve their problems better? And I think if you have this kind of mindset, how can I be of service to my social following? We ask ourselves better questions like, how can I build trust by showing people that I understand their problem? I'm getting out of how do I get something, and instead I'm getting into the minds of my ideal clients, show them what's their problem. I show them that I can solve their problem by giving tips that actually work for them. And I give them the opportunity to get to know me. So for me, the key mindset really is something that I learned from precision nutrition is give, and then ask.
Oh,
And for me, it's a deep-seated belief. If I create the biggest possible good in this world, if I share what I have learned and bring it to people in a clear way so they can use it, life in some way will take care of me. So
yes.
if I bring my best self into the world, something will happen so my life will be lifted up as well.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing is, if you have this service mindset, it's you get clients recognize you as an expert because you show that you understand them. You talk through their problems, you talk through their roadblocks. And when you show people that you understand them and then you have a solution, they are naturally attracted to you. They want to communicate with you because you talked about this thing that is interesting and now they want to learn more. And suddenly they slide into your DMs and asking you, hey, what's going on? Can you tell me a little bit more? And when they come to you, it's very easy to then say, hey, that's a super interesting question, but it's difficult to talk about this on Instagram. Here's the link. Let's have a free 15 minutes conversation or 30 minutes conversation. And then you turn this into a sales conversation saying, hey, this is what I can do for you. This is how a plan looks like. Would you like to help me with that?
So it's more about giving value first, and then the sales will come easier after that, I think.
Yeah, it's the I I show people what I can do instead of how can I sneakily, stealthy get them to me. I'm present. Here's what I do. This is the problem that I want to solve. If you like that, send me a DM.
Yes. It's all about like listening and be really careful about
Yes.
their issue, their problem, and what they need to be solved, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
And also,
welcome.
I would like you to tell us where we can learn more about, like, if we want to create like content that will serve them, where can we find more about their issues, their problem? What are the resources that we can use to learn about
Yeah.
that?
So when you're in the beginning of your social media journey, you think about what's the content that I should post, or what is content that gets responses, or maybe when you're even thinking about your niche, you often have the problem. Okay, what is really at the core of my clients? What is their problems? What are the questions that are constantly running through their head? What are the roadblocks that they face? And also, what are the results that they are willing to pay for?
Mhm.
This is what is going through our mind. But we struggle to actually answer these questions. It's mostly gut feeling. And the beautiful thing about social listening, for example, is you can imagine like this. You suddenly have a clear idea of what your client is thinking. You understand their problems, you understand their questions, you understand their roadblocks, and you understand what are the results that they really want. It's almost like you're able to look into the mind of your clients. And the key to do that is social listening for me. Social listening is something like you think about your ideal clients like busy professionals. And then you go to Amazon and you look for the most sold book for social listening for busy professionals. So you can go to Amazon right now, and there are books. They have 700 plus reviews, and this book, I think, it has 4.5 stars. So whatever this book does, people are paying it for it.
Mhm.
And I mean, if you have 700 plus clients, if I had 700 plus clients, I would be totally overwhelmed. So whatever this book does, it tells us something. So we go in there and we look at the title. What does the title talk about? What is the description? What does the description talk about? What is the results that this book promises? And then you can also go into the comment section, for example, on Amazon, and you look, what are the things that the people in the 5-star and the 4-star reviews highlight? What is really good about this book? And everything that you see, you take note and you create one post for every positive thing that they see, for every problem that they arise. And also, what I really like is we go into the low reviews, so 0 stars, 1 star, 2 stars, because this is where people tell you what they didn't found in this book. And then you talk about this as well. And suddenly people who didn't like that book would find your content and think, that's exactly what I wanted to learn. And this is Amazon. You can do the same thing with Google. And if you type in busy executive, autocomplete already tells you what are people searching. And I think of Google really as a representation of the mind of the client. Because Google, when you use autocomplete, you have these are questions that also people ask. These are related search inquiries. And you can go to Google and you find topic headlines, basically. How to be fit after 30.
Yes.
How to gain muscle when you're 60. Whatever your ideal client is. You can go to Reddit, do the same thing. That's an open forum. Talk about search busy moms or diets for busy moms, and you can find hundreds of comments. So that for me is the key. And the cool thing, if you're doing this, you have content that you know people like.
Mhm.
You get people that say, thank you, that's actually great content. And at some point, if you consistently do that, people will say, hey, do you read my mind? This is something that I was thinking about. And if you get to a point where somebody says, are you reading my mind? They're at this point, okay, I'm trusting you. You have something unique to offer for me.
Okay. So it's mostly like going to forums and look for discussion on the specific issues, and going on Amazon and read the reviews about like a book.
Yeah.
That do you have any other resources that we could use, like I don't know, surveys that you can do, or do you have any?
Sure. So a great resource is always yourself as well. Very often nutrition coaches identify to some degree with their ideal clients.
Yes.
I find this is sometimes difficult because if you're so close in yourself, you can't always identify the real problem. You can, if you have clients, you can talk with them. Hey, what's the one thing that really made the difference for me, for you? You can send out surveys, for example. Um, these these are great tools if you already have a lot of clients, or if you have close connection to clients. But I also think getting mass feedback like this and actually getting feedback from things that people pay for is super valuable, because often clients also struggle to really identify what is the true nature of their problem. And if you see they're paying for this book, then you know something about this book or this program. There's something that you can learn because it's engaging people.
So my next question would be, what the biggest mistake that health coaches would do when they create content?
They are not thinking about their clients.
Yes.
So they're not thinking about their clients, and they're not thinking about how clients use social media. So what I often see are very complicated posts with threads and topics. Um, Very often coaches don't spend time on the headline. because, oh, there's the headline. But for me, the headline is the one thing that stops people from scrolling. I mean, you know it, everyone who watching, you're scrolling, you're walking down, you're going to your car, you're going to the bus and you're scrolling. And the headline and the image is the thing that makes them stop.
Mm-hmm.
So 50% of the content creation time has to go into the headline and the image.
It has to grab your attention.
Grab the attention. And then the next part is there's no clear call to action, because coaches think people know what you want them to do. So this is very clear. I want them to reach out to me, but nobody thinks about that. And the last part is just showing off how smart they are. Oh, I know all these cool tricks, instead of thinking about what does the client really need. So instead, I go back to how can I be of service for my clients?
So to have the perfect Instagram post, it will be a clear headlines, a catchy headlines. Then you would have like a clear benefit for your client, and finally how you can help them going through the transformation, right?
Yeah. So if you want to talk about the structure of a post, so the headline for me opens a gap for the client.
Mm-hmm.
So you create awareness. What is a good example for like a video that I created the other day is the fastest way to grow your nutrition coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
You open a gap. Oh, there's something that I don't know. Then the subheadline gives you a couple of ideas. So I will share 5 tips on how to grow your nutrition coaching. And the actual caption then has, you can use different structures. For example, I like to use the problem, agitate, solve structure. And for those currently watching the video, if you go back to the first question in our conversation, I use the problem, agitate, solve structure. So I talked about the problem. The problem is marketing doesn't equal coaching. Then I agitated, I showed I understand the problem by, oh, they are not confident, they are thinking about hacking the problem, and so on and so on. And then I provided the solution, like, put your coaching hat on. Think about your client. So this is one structure that you can use. Another structure is the before after bridge structure. And if you go back and watch the video again, that's the structure that I used in the second question. Like before, let me what we talked about. You don't know what to talk about, what are the real problems. And then the after is, imagine you could look into the mind of your client. And then comes the bridge. The bridge is social listening. So this is another approach that I like. And the third strategy is the benefit, benefit, benefit strategy. And that is actually where you just list the benefits of what you're offering. And the benefits, for example, for the first 2 structures is you show empathy, so clients understand that you understand them. You build contrast, like, okay, there is something that is not right currently in my approach and what I'm doing. And the third benefit is you highlight the importance of your solution. By building the contrast between what is currently happening and where you are, you build contrast and show, oh, my solution is actually really important because you have such a big problem.
Perfect. So it will be like mostly how you can solve the problem, showing your expertise, and how you what I mean is that you define first the problem, and then you show your expertise on how you can help them, like how you can go through the roadblocks together and resolve their issues.
Yes, and I'm thinking a little bit more into the details here. What you're describing is the big mindset and the bigger threat. The structure of a post allows the client to actually be sucked in, to be engaged. So they're not just scrolling through,
Yes.
but by clearly defining, for example, what is the problem, by agitating it, by telling you how this problem shows up, you get investment from them, like, oh yeah, I noticed this problem and this problem, oh, and I never thought about this problem. And now they're, oh, my life is so sucky right now, it's so difficult. And then you come up with, hey, here's the solution, here's the bright future that I can offer. So the structures that I've told is more, how can I create engaging content? How can I actually structure the different parts of my Instagram caption so people want to read further?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And any mistake that health coaches should avoid doing when trying to get clients on Instagram?
So the first mistake, of course, would be to not implement any of the suggestions that I made in this video. Cheesy answer. The second thing is, don't allow you're not allowing yourself to fail. I think that is a big mistake. And with that comes not allowing yourself to practice. I often compare these things to squatting or bench pressing. You don't go into a squatting session when you have never squatted and, well, I will try something and then I put 200 pounds on my back, and if it feels sucky, I will throw the weight away and never do it again. You start small, you practice, you will learn your rhythm, you will learn your stance, you will learn the timing, you will learn the load. And then over time, you get better and better and better.
Yes,
And
repetition.
if you don't allow yourself to fail, you will miss the opportunity to get new clients. You will miss the opportunity to serve your ideal clients. You will lose business because you're not consistent. And you spend so much energy trying all kinds of stuff instead of taking one formula and practicing it. Like in a squat, you take one stance and you practice it before you maybe switch to a low bar squat or a front squat. You practice before you master one thing, and then you try something new.
Perfect. Thank you. If you were to leave listeners with one single action today, what would it be?
As with every good Instagram post, I want to bring a clear call to action or a clear challenge. So my challenge for everyone who's listening, think about the biggest problem that your ideal clients have. For example, you work with women who are moving into menopause. So they experience all these different changes in their body. They're noticing they're getting older. So this is the biggest problem that they have. Now, the second part of your post would be agitate this a little bit, expand, show that you understand what it means. Like they have less sexual life, they have maybe less drive putting in the work at home. They need more time to recover. Their health declines, they feel weird, they have all these different symptoms that they don't really recognize and don't know what to do. And then give one small tip, like use, have a towel next to your bed when you have hot flashes, for example, and then explain what to do. Have a towel next to your bed, how to do it, keep it close in the evening, put it there. Why? Because when you get hot flashes, you can quickly wipe yourself, maybe lie on, and then you have a good night's sleep and you don't lie in your own sweat. And then the last part is DM. So ask them to DM you with a single word, like in this example, menopause sucks. So in the end, menopause sucks, or living my best life, or fittest at 50 or something like this. And say, hey, DM me fittest at 50 when you want to learn more about this. So if you want to take one thing away, do this. Biggest problem, tell people how it shows up, solve it with one simple thing, and then DM me. That's the biggest thing.
Okay. And I know you have a free gift. Can you share a little bit about your gift for the audience?
Yeah, sure. So my coaching session preparation kit really is designed to help nutrition coaches feel confident and prepared every time they work with their clients. So what I often see are these highly educated, driven coaches that still struggle to trust themselves. And the coaching session preparation kit has the the mindsets of the best coaches that I've ever learned from at Precision Nutrition. They have proven strategies that I've used in the last 10 years in my business, and it contains support systems like what is the kind of message that I send when my clients don't respond to my check-in? How do I design a check-in form? How do I go through a first intake questionnaire? So it covers everything from sales conversation to writing a nutrition program to asking for referrals. And it's all about action. So you watch a video and you exactly know this is what I should do. And here's the helpful tool that helps me. And the big benefit, I think, is it is designed as a course. So you get the overarching picture. That is very difficult to get if you're searching on
Yeah.
Google or on YouTube, especially if you're searching for things like how to get referrals, and then you listen to a video from somebody who's not in the nutrition coaching business. So their solution don't really apply. So if that is interesting to you, all you have to do is enter the email to get access. I think the link is in the description here. Learn the skills and the mindsets. And when you're through with the content, you will trust yourself that you can transform the lives of others and you will have fun doing it.
Okay. I think the audience wants also to know where we can find you online.
Yes. So there are two big places. One is YouTube, and YouTube, I share these videos. So I talk about the mindset and strategies and tools to help coaches feel more confident and become the best versions of themselves so they can build successful nutrition coaching businesses. For example, one of the videos that I've recently uploaded was training on how to create content on social media. So there's 1.5 hours where you can basically look over my shoulder and see this is how I search the content. This is how I create headlines. What is going through my mind? This is the template that I use. So this is YouTube, where you can find my videos. And Instagram is the best place to get in contact with me if you have any questions about this video or some of the concept that I've talked about. I update Instagram all the time with my YouTube content, and you also get announcements to things like this live training where you can join me and ask me during the content creation process questions. Why do you use this? How do I look? What is Canva? How do I use it? So this is the best place to get in contact directly with me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you so much for doing this interview and sharing so much great information. I'm
You're
sure
welcome.
I'm sure our audience is really going to love this interview.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you have
hopefully.
do you have any final thoughts?
Um, whatever you do is may it be Instagram, may it be creating an interesting program, launching a program. Try to think about this in terms of nutrition coaching or coaching. So very often I find this image of squatting practice really helpful. You in the beginning you will have wobbly knees and your hip doesn't move with your knees and you hinge forward. That is normal. You will struggle in the beginning, but with time you will find your stance, you will find your timing, you will find the load. Under pressure you will find the weaknesses, and then you can build programs and think about how can I build those weaknesses into strengths. So if you don't want to take any way away from this conversation, think about everything that you do as squatting practice.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I also want to remind our viewers to continue to tune in for more upcoming interviews, as I think you get not only awesome tips from experts, but also actionable content that you can implement right away. And I would also encourage you all to join my free Facebook group. It's called Level Up and Launch. And I will do trainings on creating a digital offer and launching it stressfully and successfully. I will also be able, you will all be, oh, sorry. You will also be able to connect with other health coaches or other nutrition professionals who are on the same journey. So thank you again, Robin, and for coming on and sharing your interview. And I think you have given listeners such great information and insight. And thank
Thank
you,
you so much
everyone.
for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. All right, see you next time, and bye bye.